I'm Aaron Baker from PhoneDog.com, and it's part 2 of a dogfight battle between the HTC One and the BlackBerry Z10. Two companies that are fighting for survival in an increasingly crowded mobile space. Which one's going to come out on top? It's part 2 of a full dogfight battle, and it starts right now. It's part 2 of a dogfight battle between the HTC One and the BlackBerry Z10. When you really look at it, the dogfight is not as weird as it may sound because, like I said in part 1, the HTC One is a huge improvement for the organization, and it comes as HTC tries to revitalize their slumping profits and get back into that Android game, maybe even Windows Phone 8 game as well with the 8X, the 8S, and all their different Windows Phone devices. Then there's the BlackBerry Z10 over here, really trying for that third place in the mobile OS wars against Apple's iOS, Google's Android, BlackBerry OS. They want to be that third place contender. They want to knock Windows Phone 8 out of the spotlight. So this is a battle between two companies that are trying really hard to gain mind share and market share in a very crowded mobile space. But before we get into that, special thanks to our partners at Best Buy Mobile for giving us devices like these for use in our One Paw Bandit giveaway game. When you go into Best Buy Mobile, they'll make sure you walk out with whichever carrier is best for you, and the reason why is because they're unbiased. Whether it's AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, Verizon, whatever the case may be that's best for you, they'll help you figure it out in an unbiased manner at Best Buy Mobile. So here we go, part 2. I'm going to recap the specs really briefly here. Quad-core 1.7 GHz Snapdragon 600 CPU, 1.5 GHz dual-core Snapdragon S4 CPU over here, 4.7-inch display that's 1080p, 4.2-inch display that's just a little bit over 720p right here. So specs a little bit different all around, but this is BlackBerry's first touchscreen device, all touchscreen device since the Storm, touchscreen device period since the Torch. And you know what? They're making some pretty substantial improvements in the mobile operating system. A ground-up overhaul, and it's called BlackBerry 10. So we're going to load up the internet browser here, the stock browsers, and take a look at the overall internet experience on both of these devices. So PhoneDog.com loading up over here. And it's important to note I'm not going to do any speed tests on either one of these devices because they're both unlocked and unbranded. I'm running AT&T over here. HSPA Plus, it maxes out at 21 megabits per second. Dallas is a great market for AT&T. Then I've got this one over here on T-Mobile. HSPA Plus, it peaks at 42 megabits per second, depending on the market that you're in. And I'm going to try to load up PhoneDog.com if I can type over here. PhoneDog.com loading up again. 4.2-inch display. Where you're really going to appreciate that bigger display on the HTC One is browsing, emailing, content creation, things like doing HTC Zoe's, and then also YouTube as well. That 4.7 inches, it doesn't seem like a lot right now, but it really does play a role when you got these side by side and you're browsing videos or the web or whatever the case may be. So PhoneDog.com loaded up. You can see how incredibly responsive this device is all around. And same thing over here, relatively good performer, but again, display a little bit on the smallish side, though pinch to zoom is pretty responsive. So I got a couple of different options here. I can open up a secondary tab, go back to PhoneDog as I see fit, and move back and forth between those and cancel it out when I'm done. I've got my bookmarks, my history, and I can access all that stuff over here on the side as well. And then I can come back over here. You can see some slight improvements, some slight changes. Kind of looks like Chrome, at least HTC's stock browser does. And then when I want to open up a secondary tab over here, I click New Tab and jump right back and forth between those. Love how fast this is, even with the animations, an incredibly zippy device all around. So I'm going to run Quadrant Standard on this one. We'll talk about BlackBerry 10 a little bit more at length here. So you can obviously see the gesture animations you have to do to swipe up, and then I can move these cards around as I see fit as well. So there's this area where the cards are. Then I've got my BlackBerry Hub, which I talked about, kind of my all-encompassing communications place for BBM, text messages, calls, and more. And then I've got my application. So it's all intended to be accessed just by swiping back and forth. When I want to get rid of a card, I just hit it like that. So everything's improved all around on BlackBerry 10. Maps are better, but the question is, can it pick up market share after iOS and Android and even Windows Phone 8 have advanced as far as they have? Maps is better. You can see my places, you can see my map, show traffic, and more. So you've really got a robust application here in comparison to what you may remember from BlackBerry 7. But incredible improvements all around. The calendar's better. Everything's better here all around. But that said, it may not necessarily be as good in comparison to current Windows Phone 8, current Android, current iOS. And you can see over here, 12,342 on Quadrant Standard makes this thing blazing fast all around. So I'll talk about the TV remote as well here. You've got an IR blaster and your power button, so I can select my location, for example. And actually, I just reset this morning before the video started. So I can go in here, I'm going to put in my office zip code, and then I'm going to go in here, select my TV service provider. We'll just say Uverse. And then I'm going to roll through here, see my channels, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that sounds about right. And let's do this, and I can come in here and select my TV and more and select some different programming. So take a look at this, though, and more in depth on the HTC website. That's it. I want to show you the remote once this thing gets set up so we can take a look. Hopefully it'll actually show me a stock remote, but it may take its sweet time. We shall see. Saving setup. Okay, here we go. Saving, and then we'll go in here and let's see if we can see the remote really briefly. I'm just going to say remote 1. Just going to set this up for the sake of setting it up. TV. Yes. And it's downloading. Yes. Yes, it did. And let's see if it turned on. Excellent. So here's what the remote looks like now that I've got it set up. It's called Remote 1. I've got here, I've got my buttons, and then I've got right over here my channels and volume as well. So really a cool feature there. You can program it to your work TVs, your home TVs, and it's kind of one of those things. This was around years ago, but much like anything else in tech, what is old is new again. Smartwatches, Google Glasses, anything utilizing old protocols like glasses or watches or IR blasters for whatever reason seems to be coming back. Last but not least, we'll talk about Google Play. Google Play is anticipated to hit 1 million applications, or 1 billion, no, yeah, wait, 1 million. Gotta get that right. 1 million applications in June. This just crossed 100,000 very recently. So you got BlackBerry App World over here, BlackBerry World, and it's a one-stop shop, much like Google Play. You can download books, you can download movies, TV shows, games, apps, and more, all of which can be accessed by hitting all and going to games, apps, music, video, and of course My World. So I can go into applications and take a look at those. They download right over here, and I can show you the Weather Channel. For example, far more robust. I can't talk today, and it's driving me nuts. Far more robust than any other BlackBerry operating system of the past. That said, comparing it to Android 4.2.2 or iOS 6, it needs a little bit more work, and obviously the adoption needs to be there as well. So hopefully we can get this on U.S. carriers very shortly and make it a viable alternative to Android and to iOS in the marketplace. So like anything, it's a tough dogfight, and it depends on what matters most to you. That said, from a robust standpoint, from a design quality standpoint, the award goes to the HTC One. Beautiful build quality over here. Android is obviously developed to the point where it can stand alone. Incredibly fast, no lag whatsoever. That Android lag is completely gone. Sense 5 works exceptionally well. There's a lot to like over here. If you're an existing BlackBerry user moving over, it's a great option. If you want an all touchscreen, you want it in a little bit of a smaller form factor, which a lot of people tweet me all the time and complain about the big devices. This could be a nice alternative for you. It's a little bit of a smaller device. It's going to have LTE when it lands in the US. This could be a choice for you, just if anything, for size and for particularly good specs all around. But the winner, HTC One. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage of both of these devices. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know what you think at PhoneDog_Aaron. Facebook, Facebook.com/Hi Aaron Baker. Google+, G+.to/PhoneDog. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more at PhoneDog.com and on YouTube at YouTube.com/PhoneDog. I'll see you next time.